Whoa, iDubbbz came out with a new thing saying stuff. I'm gonna watch it. Watch it with me. My stomach hurts. I don't know what to do about that. But I do know the iDubbbz thing is very funny. I've been having a blast following it all the way since Creator Clash 1 and the Samahide whatever, now the FroggyFresh whatever. I used to be a huge fan of iDubbbz. I really don't know what to make of it anymore, but let's hear him out. Let's hear what he has to say. Maybe he'll turn it around.
You know, if I'm going to have the balls to go to Tana's fan meetup and say slurs at her and then make a video about how it's okay to say slurs, I think I should have the balls to make an apology video and take accountability for the mistakes I've made. I am responsible for creating a lot of hurtful and damaging content on this channel. You know, some of the videos I've made have been very, not edgy. I don't think they you know, some of these videos were edgy. I think they were just outright cruel. And
I wonder what he's deeming as cruel. I wonder if what he's trying to say is that the content cops are cruel because it ruined several people's careers, or tried to at least, and like vehemently made fun of people and like pressed them on their situation and their career and their choices and everything like that in a manner from a position of superiority and moral high ground or whatever. I wonder if that's what he's talking about, or if he's just saying slurs, saying epithets, you know, that could be offensive. I hope that it's not that two-dimensional. Obviously, he can grow as a person as he ages. He's like 30 years old now. Obviously, he's not going to think the exact same way and be as, you know, ha ha ha, whatever, as he was as a teenager or early 20-year-old. And none of us are or should be. That we should not be striving to stay the same as we were when we were, you know, 18.
the content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons, and you know, obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human, I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and you know, I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate.
Honestly, I do respect him for saying this, because I was also in like high school when the content cops first started coming out, and obviously at the time you're like, oh yo, oh man, it's a new content cop just dropped, he's making fun of Leafy, oh wrecked, you know, and that's fun when you're a child. But in retrospect, seeing what happened to some of these people, Leafy namely, you know, he was a very big character that iDubbbz went after, and honestly, Leafy fell off the face of the earth after that. I think his channel got deleted. I think, you know, like he just really like it did fuck his shit up, you know, his livelihood, his real life. It's something that like H3, iDubbbz, a lot of these people did at the time. It was a popular form of content at the time. iDubbbz took it to the highest level possible that anyone else had at the time, and just went hard in the paint, going after some of these people. And in retrospect, you know, as an adult, I really did consider and look back on it after seeing what happened to someone like Leafy and go, was it a responsible thing to do for views, just to get views, to like ruin someone's life? And my answer is kind of like no. I don't care about any of the edgy shit iDubbbz has said, and a lot of it is still funny now. I don't give a fuck, because jokes are jokes, whatever. But actually going and making hit piece after hit piece on people, fucking with their livelihood, showing up to their events, whether you think it's justified or not at the time, or it's funny, it's content, whatever. I get, like, both can also be true, that like going to the Tana Mongeau thing is funny and good content, whatever. She puts on this event and you're going to go and kind of rain on her parade and crash it and whatever. Like, it is like some mean-spirited shitty things to do. Like, and I think both can be true. It is respectable that he's addressing that the content cop shit was a bit irresponsible. Now someone like Keemstar, he can take it. He's fine, you know, but punching down on like smaller people, like he did, probably not cool. After the content cop was a thing and it reached its peak, it really did spawn a genre of other people and smaller channels doing the same thing, copying that style, copying that content, doing hit piece after hit piece on a lot of people that even more so didn't deserve it, with even less research, with even less effort, with even less production value and thought and writing and whatever. It became like a cool thing to do, fucking with people and talking shit on people, even though he didn't make the videos himself. Like what he started, the trend he started ended up damaging other people as well in this, ripple effect. So there's a decent amount of responsibility on his shoulders.
I am very insecure about my ability to create interesting content or like entertain.
Hey, aren't we all, man? I don't even think this video is going to be entertaining. I hate doing this commentary react shit, dude. A lot of the times I hate the YouTube meta. I hate all of it. But I just like making shit. And I'm just throwing stuff at the wall sometimes. And I still do professional video work and other professional creative things that I get paid for. So I'm not sitting here and I'm not gonna piss and moan about like not getting monetized quickly enough or like not having enough subs, whatever the fuck. It's gradual progress. But I feel the same way every time I put something out and it doesn't do numbers, it doesn't do what I want it to do, especially when I think I'm putting out bangers. Obviously it's discouraging, it's annoying, it's whatever. And when you have more and more and more and more people watching, waiting, anticipating, you have a large audience, that pressure I'm sure mounts exponentially. I completely relate to that. The documentary stuff was way more substantive and it was more positive. I do think there are some issues even with that style of content that he might touch on, I would like to touch on. It's tough, dude. It's tough to sit in front of the camera sometimes. It's tough to put stuff out, to be consistent, to be entertaining, to be interesting. And if you're somebody who has like some self-esteem issues, which I think iDubbbz probably did, especially when he was younger, and even maybe still. Not that I understand from experience. It's even harder. Those issues and those intrusive thoughts is dialed up even higher when that's the case. So it's dude, it's not easy. And I know boohoo, fucking I make videos, whatever.
It's one of the reasons why I kept making this hurtful content. I ended up pivoting it into other things because I felt bad about it, like innately, but I hope that is relatable to other creators who maybe struggle with the same thing. I'm not confident in my ability to entertain, and I think if I had to rely on my personality to entertain people, that I wouldn't have any amount of success, and that is really hard to come to terms with.
Damn, dude, that's some real shit to say. My personality and like the way I conduct myself a lot of time, like I can be a bit dry, a bit serious, a bit I skew a lot more analytical. So especially my content reflects that. Those thoughts of like I don't think myself alone is that entertaining enough to like captivate an audience to like actually grow any form of successful channel or brand or whatever. And that is tough. Like that's a tough thing to come to grips with. It's this thing that you love doing, but people are not they might not necessarily actually be there for you, even though that's the most ideal scenario. They're more so there for what you're doing and for what you're saying or for, something like that. And that obviously became the case with Content Cop and Kickstarter crap and all that stuff. And that's tough. And I also understand keeping something going because it's going well. I've experienced that at a more of a microcosm. I experienced it a lot in my professional life. Don't get me wrong. Doing stuff you don't want to do because it's lucrative, because it's what's working, because it's what's doing well, it's because it's what people want from you. I totally understand that. And I understand that he probably did several Content Cops even when his heart wasn't in it anymore, but they just performed so well, so consistently. So why would you stop? YouTube's not easy, dude. It's a crazy fucking rat race, man. It really is. You can really easily get caught up doing some fuck shit if you're not careful and kind of just losing track of why you were there in the first place.
I said a lot of things that I look back at and I cringe now, and I'm like, that is an awful thing to say. It doesn't matter what my intentions are. Like if I'm hurting people, I'm hurting people. I've just always had this dumb philosophy that I'm not responsible for my audience and how they behave beyond what content I put out, and that's stupid, and it's led to a lot of hate and a lot of bad outcomes.
It's a little column A, column B. I think that you are responsible for your audience and what they do as a result of the content you make, right? So if you're making overtly negative content, hit pieces on real people, making fun of people, spewing vitriol, being kind of hateful, talking shit, saying edgy shit, you're going to cultivate an audience that is going to think those things are cool. If they're your audience, then they clearly think those things are cool, right? You may off camera be a different way, but they only see what's on camera. So if that's all you're giving them is like negative shit and reinforcing all that stuff, then that's what you're going to get as far as who's going to follow you. So you're responsible to that degree. Now, you're not responsible if your audience does some like insane shit, hurtful shit, going out of their way. To a certain extent, you just can't feel responsible that much for that. Like it's so out of your control. I think he probably pivoted too late. Like he really was doing the content cops and the Kickstarter crafts and the bad unboxings. Like it was all very negative driven shit. Even with the positive stuff, even with a documentary like Full Force with Airsoft Fatty, we now understand with all this time that's passed since that came out, Airsoft Fatty was trolled exponentially more and in a way more hurtful and legitimate way after that documentary surfaced, even though it was in a positive light, as a result of that documentary. You shouldn't feel responsible for that. You tried to do a cool thing. You tried to put him on. You didn't talk shit. You didn't say anything about, whatever. It wasn't a negative piece on Airsoft Fatty. And at the time, Airsoft Fatty was totally down with it. But now he's been relentlessly trolled to like a life-altering degree, to a mental health-altering degree.
Guess what, motherfucker? I haven't had to buy cannabis in 6 months.
Airsoft Fatty has now also said, that he's had some problems with iDubbbz since then. He now feels kind of not as well compensated for the documentary. Do I believe all of that 100%? I don't know. I think that Ian's maybe tried to have olive branches out there to support him. He made Airsoft Fatty the first guest on Dax Flame's talk show, The Hot Seat, put him on there. Like, do I think that he's just been no contact, fuck you, Airsoft Fatty, like since the documentary dropped and he made all his money? No, but
I reached out to Ian for help that day, and Ian never fucking replied. You want to talk about some shit? I messaged iDubbbz the other day. I said, hey, can you just share my stream around? I didn't ask him for money or anything. I said, hey, share my stream around. Looked at the message and never fucking replied. Like, that doesn't fucking make me feel like shit, man.
that sucks. If I had iDubbbz's platform and I got content off of this person, I made money off this person, both from ad revenue and from a sponsorship deal with those fucking earbuds that he did. That documentary did numbers too, millions and millions of views. Would I share the dude's stream? Yeah, dude, I'd share the dude's stream. Would I leave him on red? No, I wouldn't leave him on red. I'd probably at least respond. If I wouldn't share his stream, I'd at least respond. That's just me. Are there other things at play? Maybe, whatever, I don't know. But that is some shit. I do agree. You know, and like I said, like the trolls and shit, they've really been going after Airsoft Fatty as a result of being put in the limelight more from that impression share from that documentary. Even though it was made with positive intent, the outcome is still not overtly positive, and that was not in Ian's control.
I guess if you want to, look out for people who are red flags, it's definitely people who had my mentality that say, I'm not responsible for what my audience does.
I guess I'm a red flag because I just kind of half agreed with that sentiment only.
I've profited off of this bigoted content for years, and I've made a successful career out of it, and that's not right. I am running ads on this video, and any revenue generated from this video, I'm going to match and donate to an organization that would have been particularly affected by the type of rhetoric that I've been spewing on this channel. I don't feel like a lot of this content represents me as a person, at least not anymore. There was a time where it probably perfectly represented me, because I was a nasty, apathetic, insecure person. I'd like to unlist the videos so that people, can access them still for whatever, purposes they might want to do that for, but it's not being proliferated on the website.
I'm pretty sure that also means that he can't earn any ad revenue off of them anymore. So he's unlisting the videos, so it's not going to get served to people in the algorithm and stuff. New people aren't going to find them, but people can still watch them if they want to. Because, by the way, even if he deleted them, other people are just going to re-upload them over and over and over again, and they're going to survive into infinity anyway. So I don't think it's necessary. If you're making content for 10 plus years, whatever, like, obviously you're going to change as a person. Obviously I'm going to watch my stuff from 10 years ago and go, I'm not the same person. I don't agree with everything I just said. It was true at a time. It's a snapshot of a point in time of my life, of his life, of where we were at, of where the world was at, of what was acceptable at the time. And that's just how it was. There's a ton of TV, there's a ton of movies, there's a ton of games, there's a ton of music that is not exactly representative of, where the creator or artist or whatever was at later in life or currently in life or at the end of their life as a person, but it's how they felt at the time. And it was something they wanted to say at the time. And it deserves to still be there, and it deserves to still be viewed as such, and to not judge the creator intensely on the opinions of something they said or did or created 10, 20, 15, 7, 5 even years ago exactly. Judge it on the merit of the work itself, not judging the creator and assigning a connection of their beliefs and morals to the work that they created. I think if we would do that, a lot of these discussions about the art and the media and all these works would change very drastically, and we wouldn't have to have banned book lists and all kinds of shit like that. We could just enjoy works of art and media and culture and literature and whatever as they are, as they were intended, without assigning all this subtext of current present day expectation, morality. It's just not realistic at all. And if we went down that rabbit hole truly, we would have very little works left that were in line with the current day politics and whatever in ethics. And it would always be a moving target, that the goalposts would constantly be moving forever and we'd never be able to catch up with. Obviously, iDubbbz, as the creator, is still in control of his catalog, is still in control of his art. That is the one thing about being an independent artist, that there is no production company, there's no legality, there's no record label, there's no publishing company that is going to lord the rights of your work over you and say, well, you're not allowed to take it down. I don't care what you believe or don't believe now. You don't have the right to take it down, blah, blah, blah. Ian, as an independent artist on YouTube, blah, 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 the platform's cool. He can make that decision. It's within his right. More power to you. That's part of the allure and the strength of this platform. And it's great to exercise that. I just don't think it's necessary. I don't think it should become the standard. Do I have stuff that I've unlisted from my channel? And I'm a small channel. Do I have stuff that I've unlisted from my channel that can also be perceived as problematic, can also be perceived as like too edgy or hurtful or whatever, blah, blah, blah? Sure. And I have unlisted a lot of stuff from when I was a literal kid, in fucking middle school, and what I thought was funny as a child, and what, me and my friends thought was funny. That stuff didn't have views. There's no skin off anybody's nose. I don't care. Even if people did see it, or I did make it public again. Look, dude, once again, it's fucking, some of the humor might be shitty, edgy, whatever, but that's what it was at the time. That was how things were. You can not feel that way now and disagree with it, but also just take it for what it is. I don't know, dude. I'm just not trying to be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Because I know I've done the same thing, but no one saw that shit anyway. So it's like, whatever. And I don't want to get fucking canceled before I even get started. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give anyone ammo right away. Let's wait until I have a bridge incident, like PewDiePie, and I have at least some audience to see me fuck up. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I'm joking. I would never play PUBG.
You can like content, but you can also think that it's irresponsible and it's hurting other people. Probably not that important that this video stays online because truthfully, I've seen it, I've experienced the content, we can let it go. I'm sorry to everyone that I made content cop videos on. I still don't like the majority of you, and that's fine, but I can recognize that you did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way. Tana, I'm sorry. I should have never made that video. I harassed Tana in person and then harassed her online. I'm also sorry to all the black viewers and minority groups who had to put up with that video and put up with, you know, the phrases. I said either it's all okay or none of it's okay. And that's just so dangerous and stupid.
Right, because obviously using the N-word is definitely frowned upon by a lot of people, especially by a non-African American, but I was just curious.
That was a very weird video because I wanted to like criticize her for her like sort of flagrant use of it. I've been pretty flagrant about it too, not in the same way. I thought there was a message to be shared there, and I don't think it was particularly. It was okay in criticizing her, but I think I probably wasn't the person to deliver the message, if that makes sense. There was a message that I was trying to put out there, and like I'm not really the person to put out that message. I don't regret making the video. I think, you know, there's bits and pieces to take from it that I think are valuable, but you know, I probably wouldn't make it these days.
That's like a very normal answer. I'm sure the interviewer, he cut it for some reason, but I'm sure the interviewer is like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Most normal people, well-adjusted people, rational thinking people are not going to hear that and go, nah, you got to do more, buddy. Come on, pay up. Pay the apology tax. You got to grovel. Yeah, I need you on your knees. Most people are not going to do that. So it's kind of weird to be like, I was coping by like, in a very measured way, not standing by the shit I made and recognizing that it might not have been the move, but, you know, not groveling, not looking like a little bitch. You know what I mean? Honestly, like, what are you going to do? Who are you apologizing to? Here's the real cope. The real cope is thinking everyone gives a fuck about your apologies. Everyone's waiting around with bated breath for iDubbbz to apologize about words he said before. The fucking apologizing for ruining people's careers, less than half of this video, like to put saying naughty words on the same pedestal as of importance as ruining people's careers and getting them harassed vehemently online for years and years, to put those on the same level is kind of fucking crazy. Like, it's fucking insane, dude. Like, that's cope. Just shut the fuck up and make better videos. Just shut the fuck up and like do shit. Like the creator class shit is cool. It's a cool event. There's a lot of production value. There's a lot of time and effort and care put into it. It's a thing. It's a fun thing to watch. Cool. Just keep doing shit like that, dude. Keep making documentaries. Keep doing whatever you're doing. Don't sit here and grovel, man. Like, no one wants to hear this. The people that you think you're pandering to by saying, oh, I don't stand by any of this shit, they don't care, dude. That's the same demographic that you think you're talking to right now and apologizing to. That same demographic of people is the same group that's going to eat you alive the next time you fuck up anyway. It doesn't matter, dude. It just doesn't matter. So just move on. Why are we still talking about this shit? Like, I mean, I get it. Everyone else is still talking about it, so you got to address it, whatever. Or you could just not address it and you just keep moving on. I don't know. I don't think making this video is going to make anyone like him more. So it's like, it's just kind of the people-pleasing thing again, which he said he has a problem with. Like, which I get. Trust me, relatable. I'm the same way in a lot of ways, and was.
I'm stupid, and I really need to like acknowledge these things. Like what am I doing? I'm still trying to make excuses for myself and like, you know, why I made that video. It's like, it was a dumb idea. I harassed someone. I was saying slurs and I was trying to justify it all. I had a very Wild West mentality when it came to online behavior. Like, people are going to do what they want to do. People are going to say what they want to say. And I can pretty much do the same because it's the internet. But I think you have to be a lot more responsible.
That was the way the internet was, at least at the time, by the way. It's not like that's an unreasonable, fringe, weird thing to think. That is how it was for a very long time. The Wild West thing has just changed since then. It just changed. It's just not like that anymore. You're held a lot more accountable now. Your real life identity can a lot of times be very hard to separate at this point online. In anonymous forums and message boards and all that kind of shit, it's gone away largely with social media, Facebook, all these things, LinkedIn, all these things being so integrated. You could just say crazy insane shit and do crazy shit and kind of get away with it, and kind of it was all in good fun. But now it's just not the case, and the internet's used as a tool for commerce, business, it's so ingrained in people's lives in such a legitimate way, and people take it so seriously. The internet is the fucking second reality. Sometimes for some people it's the first reality. It's the first layer of reality for people that need to touch grass, and then but for a lot of people it's the second layer of reality, where it's almost just as real as real life, and as far as the stakes, the repercussions, the potential opportunities.
There is a clip from this interview that's been floating around the internet. I didn't like, interacting with my fans. I just want to be clear, that was my realization. Of course that happened, is because you were creating that culture and you were attracting those people. I know now, I didn't know before. Upon, meeting more and more fans, that I was like, oh shit, you guys are struggling. It was easy for me to identify them struggling when they were outside of my body. But the antisocial basement-dwelling incel that was inside here, so I needed the mirror to be held up to me. I appreciate everyone, and I think most importantly, I appreciate my wife, Anissa. She has been insanely compassionate and helpful and patient in allowing me to grow over the years, and has legitimately encouraged me to be a better person.
I don't really have anything more to say. I don't love doing the fucking react commentary shit exactly. I just hear a lot of people talking shit and spouting their mouths off about stuff. These people are just, a lot of people online that are giving their opinions on some of this stuff are just so inexperienced, or are so closed-minded or one-dimensional in how they're approaching things. I don't know. It could be substantive, maybe what I have to say, or maybe not. Or you think it's fucking stupid and you think it's cringe and corny, and I do too for the most part. But I just figured I'd weigh in, man. Because sometimes I have time. Sometimes I have time, and I can sit here in front of camera and talk. You can hate iDubbbz if you want. You can think he's cringe and a cuck and whatever, and coping, or you can just take him at how he is and proceed to watch his content and not care and give a shit about what other people say about him or think or whatever. You do whatever you want. The world is your oyster. You could do whatever you want. I'm not saying you should do either or. You do whatever you want. Weigh in a little bit. I know everyone's waiting for my fucking, what's his take? What's Sly Elliott's take? I know. So there you go. There you go. And I guess I'll see you on the next one.